You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.
Good morning, Yankees universe, and welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, May 27th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, hanging out with the compadre this morning. We got the lovely Grace Monroe, and all you Yankee fans, wake up and get your coffee. Grace, how you doing today?
Hector, I gotta say, you are looking really fly today. Very nice. Classy, professional.
Very demure.
Yeah, keeping it demure, always demure. You're looking fantastic, my friend. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm doing great. It is a stormy day in Texas yet again. We're just getting all this rain. But hey, you know, the crops love it. And so I am feeling real Texas today, and I'll tell y'all in a little bit why that is. But and I want you to know I concentrated not to say why, and I said why, okay? Because I know there's a lot of New Yorkers watching. All right.
Just a few. There's a few New Yorkers watching. Let's shout out the chat before we continue. Let's shout out one of the best chats that's out there on YouTube. My guy, the Lulu Yankee fan, is in the building. Mr. Sean Brown. How you doing, Sean? I hope all is well. Our good friend Tina, how you doing? Big time Jerry Cadell is in the building. Jerry, how you doing? Of course, we got the lovely Theo Jones section. And like always, it comes to our chat guidelines in the chat. Don't use all good. Will be tolerated. If you violate any of the terms of services, you will be ejected from the chat. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram, and we are live on Twitter. And now we're on Twitch. If you guys have never been on Twitch, if you guys are on Twitch, look up Uptown Sports TV and give us a follow over there on Twitch. We are broadcasting on Twitch for the first time. So shout out to everybody who is over there. And if you guys see, there's a goal. Now, YouTube has these goals when it comes to live streams. So I put it in the chat. We have a 10 gifted goal. If you guys want to donate to the goal, we definitely appreciate it. It helps us keep the lights on over here. You could donate $1, $2, or $3, whatever super chats you give. Helps us when it comes to paying for the overlays. Helps us when it comes to paying for StreamYard, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera. But Grace Monroe, it was a Yankee game last night. I'm not sure if you know it because it was late night. I know I know there's an hour difference between you and I, but I was trying to stay up late last night. The West Coast games are not my favorite cup of tea. What about you, Grace?
Yeah, I like it at the beginning of the game, but by the end of the game, I'm fading. I'm just going to keep it 100. I'm fading by the end of the game. Last night, I was in and out of sleep, and the last time I woke up, I heard Michael Kay say, Luke Weaver is warming up, and I was like, Luke Weaver? We're up 4 runs! That was it, and I missed it. But I woke up in the middle of the night, and the first thing I did was check the score because I have an unhealthy level of obsession with the New York Yankees, and I saw that we closed it out and we won. But yeah, so it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Even in the Central Time Zone, it's a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, just to let you guys know, from the last time that we was live, we got some new subscribers. We are at 5,319 subscribers, so about like an extra 20 or 30 new subscribers. We appreciate everybody who has been finding us. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Twitch, click the link in the bio and jump on over to YouTube. We have great conversations. Join this beautiful community. But I gotta agree with you, Grace. Seeing Luke Weaver in that game, we're up by 4 runs. Like, we won the game 5-1. There should be no reason Luke Weaver was in that game. I get it. Like, you took 2 out of 3 in Colorado. You want to get that first game underneath your belt, but it's May 27th. Well, technically May 26th, but May 26th, May 27th. To me, Luke Weaver should not have been in that game. It was a perfect chance for Ian Hamilton to come in a situation, start to work things out, try to figure it out. When you have a 4-run lead like that, and I'm not trying to poo-poo on the Angels. I'm not trying to poo-poo on them whatsoever. But the Los Angeles Angels or Anaheim, they're in the bottom of their division. They're not the top dogs. They're not the Detroit Tigers. If this was Detroit, I can see the argument putting Luke Weaver in the game, especially against a top team in the American League. No lead is safe. I get that. But on May 27th, you got to use these opportunities to get outs from everybody else. If you could rest Luke Weaver, you rest him. That's personally my opinion on it, Grace. What about you?
Yeah, it's really confusing. It made me question if there was some underlying injury concern that's popping up with the bullpen arms that we maybe don't know about, because the move was confusing, like I said. So obviously we don't know everything. Obviously Aaron Boone does know everything, and I have to just try to believe that in this instance he knows more than we do, and that was the right call. It's tough to say, because when you have a win in your hand, you want that win. You got to close out the game. You got to get the wins. Doesn't really matter who you're playing. But like you said, we have been honestly overusing Luke Weaver so far this season, with Devin Williams' struggles, and now that Fernando Cruz has gone on the IL for a stint. They've really been
more
leaning
precautionary
on him.
more than anything else.
But still, he's not available, and they've been leaning on Luke Weaver a lot, and he's been amazing. But yeah, definitely a little strange to see him come in last night with a 4-run lead. I don't know. So yeah, I'm worried something's going on. We'll see, but we got the win. He's not going to be available tonight now.
No, he's definitely not going to be available tonight, right? And like Eric Katz, shout out to Eric Katz in the chat, who says Weaver is getting used up. Really should have gone with Tim Hill in that situation, or Tim Hill, either Ian Hamilton or Tim Hill, somebody else besides Luke Weaver, right? When you look at the Yankees pitching from yesterday, Ryan Yarbrough, we'll talk about him in a minute, but Ryan Yarbrough pitched 6 innings. Yanni De Los Santos pitched 1 1/3. He looked pretty solid, getting 3 strikeouts. Mark Leiter Jr. kind of struggled, right? 2 2/3 innings, but then Luke Weaver came in at the end of the game. If you have a 4-1 lead, if you want somebody to go out there and get some outs or go out there and try to stay like with the momentum, then you should have went to Devin Williams. Like, honestly, Devin Williams has pitched phenomenal over his past few outings. I think 10, 11, 12 outings has been awesome. Should have went with Devin Williams in that situation, not Luke Weaver. You got to save those bullets from Luke Weaver for later on in the season, personally.
Yeah, it was so weird. I'm telling you, it just didn't make any sense. Even on the broadcast, Michael Kay was like, I'm paraphrasing it. I was in and out of sleep at this time. But he did say something like, would you have made this move? Why are they doing this? And so, it was just very confusing. But again, we just have to believe that they know more than we do and that something's going on. That's what I think.
Yeah, personally. And my guy, Eddie Snaps in the building. This is a throwback from yesteryears of the Yankees. Sadly, Luke Weaver is becoming Scott Proctor 2.0. We don't want that to happen. We don't want Luke Weaver to get burnt out the way that Joe Torre burnt out Scott Proctor. But I want to ask you, Grace, with Luke Weaver, who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, he's going to get paid. Luke Weaver is going to get paid, whether it's from the Yankees or whether it's from the Dodgers or anybody that's out there. Luke Weaver will get paid. I'm going to ask you, Grace, if you're the Yankees, do you try to save Luke Weaver, or are you trying to use him as much as you can, knowing that this offseason, potentially, he could go to the highest bidder? There's no guarantee that Luke Weaver will be back with the New York Yankees. As much as Yankee fans love Luke Weaver, as much as I love Luke Weaver, my guy CK, shout out to Chris Khalif, who normally is in the chat, but as much as we love Luke Weaver, it is not a guarantee that Luke Weaver comes back to the New York Yankees. What's your thoughts on that? Folks in the chat, let us know as well.
So basically treat him like a NFL running back. Just run him to death, and then when he hits free agency, let him go. And that's terrible. I don't want that. That's terrible. No, I want to win the World Series this year. That's what I want. Worrying about who we're going to sign in the offseason, what Luke Weaver is going to do, what he's going to choose to do is none of my business right now. Right now, all I'm concerned about is having Luke Weaver available down the stretch and in the postseason. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Eric Katz, I think he put it perfectly right here. I think because of his impending free agency, they want to use him as much as possible, which can help us or hurt us in the long run. Shout out to my guy, Big Ant NYC. Boone bullpen management is horrible. He has the tendency to overuse the pen. Cruz is hurt due to overuse, and soon to be Weaver also in close games. Boone is allergic to playing small ball. That last comment, I gotta agree. The other ones, like I said, Fernando Cruz, I was at the press conference last week when he was talking to the Latino media, and he was talking about that injury. The IL, from what I got, it's more of a precautionary measure just to save him. I was told if this was the postseason, Fernando Cruz would be pitching. If we were in elimination games, if this was the postseason, Fernando Cruz would be pitching. What I was told is that this is just precautionary from the New York Yankees because Fernando Cruz is up there in age when you talk about baseball. He's the same age as mine, and I'm calling him old. But when you look at baseball years, he is up there in age, 35, 36 years old. So he understands that he has to save his bullets for the end of the season as well, just like Luke Weaver. Shout out my guy, FL Diver, who's in the building. Appreciate you, my guy. Like always, guys, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, and we got over 30 people in the building watching us. So if you guys can share the live, get this out on social media. If you can share it on Twitter, whatever you can, to get more Yankee fans in the conversation. Grace, let's segue a little bit, right? Because last night, Ryan Yarbrough was amazing, was phenomenal, right? When you look at him on the season, Ryan Yarbrough with a 3.06 ERA, 35 strikeouts, 5-side Yankees. They put this out there. Ryan Yarbrough was immaculate yet again against the Angels, continuing his run of dominance in the Yankees rotation. 6-inning pitch, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, all on 88 pitches. So I got to say thank you to the Toronto Blue Jays who allowed Brian Cashman to pick this man up, Ryan Yarbrough. He's posted a 2.25 ERA ever since being moved to the Yankees starting rotation. Grace Monroe, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's amazing. And also, this is random, but leave this graphic up for a second. Look at Ryan Yarbrough's face and look at my face. Do we not look like we could be brother and sister? I swear to God, I was watching him last night, and I'm like, wait a minute, this man, he has dark hair, pale skin, freckles, lighter eyes. I'm like, wait, is this my brother? And then I looked up where I heard his post-game comments, and I heard a little Texas accent. I said, wait a minute. I looked up, this man is from Austin, Texas. I said,
I'm talking about.
I think he's my long-lost brother. We look like we could be brother and sister, for real. But yeah, shout out to Austin, Texas, and Ryan Yarbrough. He has been a savior of this season. If the Yankees go far, which we will, knock on wood, we will be looking back at the stretch that Ryan Yarbrough stepped in as a savior of this season, of this year. And he will go down in Yankees lore for years to come by the true Yankees fans who watch all the games. Because this man really, really came in the 11th hour.
What's interesting is that as a Yankee fan growing up, yes, we're used to the great players like Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada, Don Mattingly, et cetera, Aaron Judge. But sometimes there are people that come out of nowhere and captivate the fan base like an Aaron Small did in 2005, like a Sean Chacon did in 2005 as well, like Melky Cabrera when he first came up, right? Eduardo Nunez, right? Oswaldo Cabrera, Cabrera, somebody that we love tremendously. We're used to these fables of just random people just coming up and just winning over the fan base. And that's what we're seeing right now with Ryan Yarbrough. Secondly, on top of it, everybody out there that criticize Brian Cashman, I have egg on my face as well, because for 2 seasons in a row, Grace, I get a notification on my phone from ESPN. The Yankees signed Ryan Yarbrough. What are we doing? What are we doing? Last year, it was the Yankees signed Luke Weaver. I'm like, what are we doing? There's other closers out there on the market. Brian Cashman is able to make these moves, pull these bunnies out of hats. Like nobody expected this from Ryan Yarbrough. And if you're a Yankee fan that said that you were expecting this from Ryan Yarbrough, you are a bold-faced liar. But when you look at the stuff that Ryan Yarbrough has and you compare it to the other pitchers in Major League Baseball in 2025, it's like he's throwing wiffle ball. Like he's dominating with a high 80s, low 90s fastball, changing location and changing speed. Ryan Yarbrough is a pitcher from yesteryears, right? He's a pitcher
Yeah.
from 2005, not 2025. This is a guy that looks like he belongs 20 years ago. I'm very impressed from the job that I'm seeing from Ryan Yarbrough, Grace.
Yeah, I mean, a crafty lefty. Wait, he's a lefty, right?
Yeah, he's a lefty.
Yeah, crafty lefty. We love to see it. He's outsmarting the batters. It's a beautiful thing. It's true baseball for true baseball fans. It's not no shade to the incredible relievers and starting pitchers who get up there and throw straight gas. Okay, that's fun to watch as well. But there's something so satisfying about the chess game of a pitcher who is just outsmarting the batter and not out throwing the batter necessarily. And, you know, it's so entertaining. It's been amazing. Is it fair to say, and I kind of thought this last night, is it fair to say that Ryan Yarbrough is what we wanted Marcus Stroman to be?
Say that again, Grace. Say that again, because I was waiting for you to say it, Grace. I was waiting for you to say it, Grace Monroe.
I feel like that's what we wanted Marcus Stroman to be able to outsmart the batters with a veteran presence, being able to dot his pitches and locate them where he wants them, not throwing 98, 99, 100 miles an hour, but throwing a lower velocity. That's your only option. And when you have so many years in the league, you expect that ability to kind of come. And that's what we're seeing from Ryan Yarbrough. So
I just got to say also, right, last week when I was working the Met games, when the Texas Rangers were there, and I was able to, Yankee games and the Texas Rangers were there, the conversation I had with Al Leiter, right? And my guy Eric Katz put it in the chat. Those guys who throw straight gas are throwers. Ryan Yarbrough is a pitcher, and that's the conversation I had with Al Leiter, right? Talking to Al Leiter, telling him like, hey, growing up listening to you on the broadcast, I learned the difference between somebody who's a thrower and somebody who's a pitcher. A thrower is somebody who's just throwing gas, 98, 99, 100 miles per hour. A pitcher is somebody who can attack the strike zone and operate it east to west, north to south. And that's something that Al Leiter said that he never had while growing up. And that's why when you guys see Al Leiter, if you remember, he was a part of the Yes broadcast. And one year he decided, you know what? I'm stepping away. I'm going to make my appearances on MLB, on the MLB network. But he decided to be his pitching coach for his son, Jack Leiter, who's with the Texas Rangers right now, specifically to teach him the difference between a thrower and the difference between an actual pitcher. And Eric Katz hit it right on the head. Ryan Yarbrough is an actual pitcher and not just a thrower. And it's great to see. And to your point, Grace, we wanted this out of Marcus Stroman. If Marcus Stroman would have been pitching like this, we would have been giving him the same grace. Not saying that Marcus Stroman cannot do the same thing, because when healthy, Marcus Stroman can operate that strike zone east to west, north to south, can keep pitchers off balance by changing pitch mix and changing pitch speed. That's something Marcus Stroman can do. It's just he's not healthy in the moment right now. So I'm not going to 100% beat down on Marcus Stroman, but seeing this out of Ryan Yarbrough, this is another move from Brian Cashman that shows why he has been in his position for as many years, and we're just fans on the outside screaming from the porch.
What do you think they're going to do when Stroman comes back?
I don't even know if Stroman's going to come back. That's the thing. I don't know. It's I don't know anything inside when it comes to anything. I just heard when it comes to the injuries and how they're treating it. I don't know if Marcus Stroman comes back. He was supposed to start rehab. He's supposed to start throwing session, and they stopped that because the knee started barking again. So I'm not sure if Marcus Stroman actually pitches for the New York Yankees ever again. I want to shout out some folks in the chat. Theo Dennis is in the building. Salute to Theo Dennis. Bendy Shung, who said, side note, my daughter wants me to frame the picture you took of us for the Friday Subway Series game. Much appreciate for you for it all, brother Dennis. I appreciate you, my guy. Love you so much, Theo Dennis. Hope all is well with you and the young one. But no, go ahead, Grace. I'll let you keep cooking.
No, that's all I was gonna say. I just had that thought, was like, when Marcus Stroman is healthy and he's able to outsmart, like what I always say, an agility pitcher, right? He's able to outsmart the batters. He's able to outthink them. He's able to get the swing and miss, to get, soft contact. That at his A game is Ryan Yarbrough. What we're seeing right now from Ryan Yarbrough. The upside of Marcus Stroman at this age is what we're getting out of Ryan Yarbrough. So I just had that thought last night. So
Somebody else who's coming to their own, and Sean Broaden just put it in the chat. Will Warren. I don't have no graphics set for Will Warren, but Will Warren had a phenomenal start over the weekend. Will Warren has turned into something tremendous. There was a stat that I saw. I think I have it here. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. When you look at strikeouts in Major League Baseball, Carlos Rodon is up there. All right, cool. So highest strikeout rate for pitchers in 2025, minimum 50 innings pitched. Number one, Mackenzie Gore is leading all of Major League Baseball with highest strikeout percentage at 36.2%. You got Tariq Skubal at 35%. Somebody the Yankees could have traded for, but we didn't want to give up Gleyber Torres. That's another conversation for another day. Number 3 on that list is Zach Wheeler with 32.7% when it comes to the strikeout rate. Number 4 on that list, Grace, is Carlos Rodon with 30%. Nice. I mean, Grace, Carlos Rodon with 31%. But 5 is Will Warren at 30%. Will Warren is top 5 when it comes to strikeout percentage, Grace. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I brought this up on the show the other day because Aaron Boone said that, or it was reported that Aaron Boone told Will Warren, stop trying to go deep into games. Just get the batter out. And ever since he told him that, or Matt Blake, I'm sure, was involved in the conversation. I'm sure it wasn't just Aaron Boone, but this was the report that we were told. He has been on fire. He's been attacking. He's been aggressive. He's been getting count leverage, and he's been able to get 10 strikeouts a game, 9 strike. I mean, he has been crazy with the strikeouts. So when he came up and when he was in the minors, the big concern from him was that he didn't go deep into games, right? And walks. So that was in his mind. This young guy who isn't even supposed to be up here right now, he had this in his mind, and it was clearly weighing on him because he was pitching with a trepidation of, well, I got to calibrate myself because I got to go deep into games because I want to stay on the team, and this is the concern that everyone has for me. I have to prove them wrong. Mm-hmm. Instead of attacking the batter, getting the out. And so when Boone and Blake, I'm sure, simplified his mental game, mm-hmm. Boom, 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 and we're seeing what we're seeing now.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to shout out my guy, Mr. Keith Saunders in the building. Keith, I hope all is well. Keith said this, Cashman might be up for GM of the year. If y'all guys keep playing like this, absolutely. And Keith, I'm surprised my guy Keith, because him and Brian Cashman, they have a very rocky relationship. Shout out to my guy Keith Saunders, who is in the chat. But Eric Katz, another thing for Will Warren. The Yankees did the right thing with Will Warren and let him figure it out. Young pitchers are going to struggle, and if teams don't give them a long leash, they will never figure it out. And like you said, when Aaron Boone told him, stop worrying about going deep in games, just go out there and pitch, and you see the results. Will Warren, this is still his rookie year. There's so much room for growth when it comes to Will Warren, but you saw it last year when Garrett Cole was out. What did he do? He took Luis Hill underneath his arm and he was teaching him. You see the same thing this year with Will Warren. Anytime you look, when it's a Will Warren start, and when the batters are batting and Will Warren's in the dugout and they pan the camera to the dugout to Will Warren, the first person you see next to him is Garrett Cole, talking to him, telling him, going over the scouting report, telling him, like, all right, go have the iPad. Like, all right, this is what you did good in the last inning. This is what you did bad. Let's try to work this out. You see it from Garrett Cole. And normally veterans, especially a veteran like Garrett Cole, if they're injured, they don't want to be bothered. They're like, yeah, I'm just here just to sit, just so I get paid, and, just to be with the team. Garrett Cole, you could tell he takes pride in teaching the young guys. He takes pride in being that extension of both Aaron Boone and Matt Blake. So, kudos to Daddy Cole.
Daddy Cole being daddy, doing daddy things. And Will Warren did give credit to him the other day in his post-game comments. He mentioned Garrett Cole by name and how he has been helping him. So again, it's been terrible having him injured, but it's been a benefit to the younger guys. True. I mean, you can't ask for more. He is the defensive captain of the team.
True. One another baby bomber that I would like to bring up real quick, and everybody in the chat, we're going to have this conversation, but we have to talk about Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe had a bases clearing double in yesterday's game, which put the game out ahead for the New York Yankees. My guy Jimmy Randazzo, shout out to Jimmy. I love my guy Jimmy. You know, hug your girlfriend, not your prospect. This is what Jimmy had to say about Anthony Volpe. He said, if Anthony Volpe has 1 million fans, I am one of them. If Anthony Volpe has 10 fans, then I am one of them. If Anthony Volpe only has 1 fan, then that's me. But if Anthony Volpe has no fans, then that means that I'm no longer on earth. Shout out to Jimmy Randazzo. When you look at Anthony Volpe, a 7.771 OPS, only making $875,000 in the year 2025. I wish I could say I was only making that. You feel me? I'll be having different conversations. But Anthony Volpe, we've seen the struggles. We've seen Yankee fans screaming that he needs to change position. Anthony Volpe is not the shortstop of the future. And every time his back is against the wall, he has moments like this, and it gives you a glimpse of hope. Like, okay, this was cool. What are you going to do tomorrow? Grace, what's your thoughts on the Calzone Anthony Volpe?
You know, last night I was having some trouble with MLB TV's audio, like everybody else was who was watching on MLB TV. And because I had zero audio at all, I had to turn on the WFAN radio broadcast, and I had the video feed until the 3rd inning. That's how I was watching the game. And when Anthony Volpe came up to bat for his first at bat, and we know Angels Stadium is basically Yankee Stadium West. When Anthony Volpe came up for his at bat, Susan, shout out to Susan, Susan goes, "Oh my goodness, what a hand for Anthony Volpe." And I'm like, yeah, he's popular. He is a beloved member of this squad. I would go as far to say as he's a core member of this squad, this era of Yankees baseball. He's one of the core members of it. And listen, he doesn't need to be the next Derek Jeter at all. No. At all. My only critique of Anthony Volpe is that he shouldn't be batting 5th, in my opinion. Okay? When he's batting 5th, it puts undue expectations on his at-bats to produce runs. And shout out to Nosebleed Section. I'm sure he's in the chat. He sent me last night a message where he said Anthony Volpe is the 10th in RBIs in the entire American League. He's producing 10th out of everybody. And I said, okay, well, the American League sucks. And he's like, well, that's the league we play in. I'm like, all right, fair. But here's the thing. He is up to bat when he's batting 5th. He is up to bat with 3 MVPs in front of him. Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, and Aaron Judge, and they're virtually always on base. And then it puts a lot of pressure on the 5 spot. And when he does have success, of course, he gets ribbies. And there's no other team in the American League that has 3 MVPs in the top 4 of their lineup that gives the 5-hole batter the opportunity to produce as many ribbies as Anthony Volpe has had. So looking just directly at the stats saying, oh, Anthony's 10th in ribbies is kind of misleading, in my opinion. But I just feel like with the tools we have available now in our lineup, I mean, I was looking at the lineup. Like, I like Jason Dominguez batting in front of Volpe, but behind Volpe, there's nobody else really that you could put there and be like, yes, this guy's going to drive in runs.
Yeah.
We need Giancarlo back. We need Jazz back. We need our team to be whole. That being said, I feel like the future of Anthony Volpe should be in the bottom of the lineup, everyday playing time, because he stays healthy, thank God, and knock on wood. He's an everyday player who stays healthy, gives great defense, and should bat in the bottom of the lineup and steal bags and have average at-bats. Have league average, batting average, and that's totally, totally fine. In fact, it's great. So that's what I see for Anthony Volpe's future.
For me, Volpe, I kind of just got a little bit of pushback just because I think it's, yes, top 10 in the American League. You can say what you want. The American League Central is one of the best divisions in Major League Baseball. It's the first division that has every team with over 30 wins. There's no other division in baseball that has that, right? So a lot of people sleeping on the American League. I don't view the American League this year like last year. I think the American League in 2025 is way better than what it was last year. And when it comes to Anthony Volpe, not only is he top 10 in RBIs in the American League, he is leading all American League shortstops and RBIs. And I think that's something that is not just a bleep on the radar. I think that's something that should be celebrated and should be awarded for Anthony Volpe. I think that's a big accomplishment. On May 27th, and Anthony Volpe, our shortstop, is leading all of the American League with runs batted in. However he got those run batted in, I'm not sure whether he's in the 5th spot, 6th spot. They moved him up and down in the lineup the entire season. I still think it is a good sign for Anthony Volpe to be up there, because when you look at it, he's had bases clearing doubles like 2 or 3 times this season when we actually needed it the most, and it counted, right? So Anthony Volpe, I think you see big steps, leaps and bounds, but like I've said, we see moments where it's good signs from Anthony Volpe. What is he going to do to follow up? Because he was 1 for 4 yesterday, that one being the big hit with the bases loaded. But what are you going to do after that? Yes, you had a solid game. Are you going to go 0 for 4, 0 for 5 today with 3 or 4 strikeouts? Or are you going to go 2 for 4, 1 for 4, or 1 for 3 with a walk? What are you going to do, Anthony Volpe, to follow up your big game from yesterday? I got a $5 super chat I want to read off real quick, and I'll throw it back to you, Grace. Big Ant NYC, thank you for helping us keep the lights on over here, my guy, with the $5 super chat. He says, Volpe needs to improve on pitch recognition and discipline to move from good to great player. Most importantly, he needs to be a contact hitter. I don't think any Yankee fan is going to disagree with you on that. Shout out to my guy, Caleb Vasquez in the building. Caleb, how you doing, my guy? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Go ahead, Grace. I'll kick it back over to you.
All I want to say about that is, yes, it's great. Objectively, it's great. But I also want to say that I may venture to say nobody has stranded as many runners on base as Anthony Volpe on the Yankees. One day, I remember a couple Sundays ago, he stranded 9 runners on base throughout the game. Because, again, he has more opportunity. Because he's batting 5th with these incredible hitters in front of him who are always on base. So it's hard to say, when you have the most opportunity to drive in runs and you're the guy who drives in the most runs, it's like, okay, well, so-and-so on the Rangers, nobody's ever on base in front of him. So he doesn't have as much opportunity to get ribbies as Anthony Volpe. Listen, I like Anthony Volpe. I'm not shitting on him at all, okay? I just think ideally he would be in the bottom of the lineup, in the bottom 3. But right now, the bottom 3 is I shouldn't say terrible. The bottom 3 is struggling. Austin Wells is struggling bad right now. Peraza hasn't put it together at the plate yet. Bibas is brand new. So right now, I understand why he's batting where he's batting. But ideally, in an ideal world, with all of our lineup fully healthy, I would want him in the bottom part of the order. And then we got no problems.
Listen, if somebody's producing, I think you leave them where they're at producing, because like you said, the bottom of the lineup, it's nobody else that's producing. Right. Even if Giancarlo Stanton was to come back, you know it's going to take him 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to figure it out before he starts rocking and rolling. So if Anthony Volpe is producing, you leave him. If Jason Dominguez is producing, you leave him. If Trent Grisham is producing, you leave them. According to StatMuse, the player on the Yankees that left the most runners on base is Austin Wells in 2025. Second on that list is actually Aaron Judge, who left the most runners on base and runners in scoring position. Anthony Volpe is 5th on the list with runners left on base. Jason Dominguez is actually 4 on the list. I just had to throw that out there. And this is according to StatMuse out there. But again, when you look at it, the team is winning, right? When you look at the standings right now, I'm going to bring up the standings for the American League. Like I said earlier, the AL Central is probably one of the best divisions that are out there in baseball right now. But let me bring this up real quick. When we look at the standings, the New York Yankees, we have a very comfortable. Hold on, let me zoom in. I ain't trying to give any free ad space. The New York Yankees, we are 6 games over the Tampa Bay Rays at 33-20. When we look at the AL Central, You got the Detroit Tigers at 35. And all right, they're 1 win away of having 3 other teams with 30 wins. Then you have the Seattle Mariners, who are 29 wins. Then we look over to the National League. You start off in the East. You got the Phillies with 34 wins, the Chicago Cubs with 33 wins, and the Los Angeles Dodgers with 33 wins. What is surprising to me here, Grace, and I know this is a perfect segue into the next topic you want to talk about, is the St. Louis Cardinals with 30 wins, Grace. I know there's a player on the St. Louis Cardinals. Do you want to go into that next, or do you want to save that?
Send me to the hot corner.
All right, we're gonna take this route, and we're gonna go to Grace Monroe's hot corner. Folks in the chat, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got over 40 people in the building on YouTube, and we're sitting on 20 likes. So hit that like button as we take a trip to Grace Monroe's hot corner.
Thank you so much, Hector Beauchamp, for sending me to the hot corner today. I have breaking news, and it is hot. Nolan Arenado is not coming to the New York Yankees. Stop the madness. Stop the madness. Stop the mess. Stop the gossip right now. Nolan Arenado is not going to be a New York Yankee in the year of our Lord 2025. And I'll tell you exactly why, Hector. First of all, the Cardinals are in second place in the NL Central, 1 game away from a wild card spot, 3 games away from first place in their division. Nolan Arenado has a full no trade clause. And let me be very clear. The New York Yankees were not on his list of places that he would want to go, that he released in the offseason. First of all. Second of all, he likes it in St. Louis. He doesn't want to leave St. Louis. But the owners, the management, they told him, look, we are rebuilding. We need you to be patient. Are you down to clown? And he said, actually, no, I'm not down to clown. I'm old and I want to go win now. So trade me. That's how all this happened. He wasn't like, hey, I don't like St. Louis. I want to leave. Trade me. He was like, hey, I'm not trying to wait around for a rebuild. So trade me. Well, guess what? The rebuild has them 3 games out of first on Memorial Day and 1 game out of a wild card. So guess what? Nolan Arenado ain't trying to go nowhere, first of all. Second of all, if he was trying to go somewhere, Yankees aren't really on his list. That has been made public, okay? But third of all, right now, Nolan Arenado is giving below average all across the board. His OPS plus is below 100. He still has 2 more years on his deal, and we're not trying to go over the luxury tax for an aging third baseman who's playing below league average. It's not going to happen. Stop messaging me on Twitter with Nolan Arenado comments. Stop it. It's over. The end.
I just want to say shout out to my guy Caleb Vasquez, because even while I'm up here, Caleb is texting me, right? Because make sure you guys go on Instagram, right? Make sure you guys go on Instagram, Uptown Sports TV, see money as well. Just because we're gonna be doing a giveaway because the New York Knicks are playing tonight. They're on the road and they have watch party tickets at the Garden, and we're going to be giving away a couple of watch party tickets. So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, Uptown Sports TV. Sorry about that, right? But back to your point. When it comes to Nolan Arenado, one thing that I wanted to bring up, and I'm like, this Grace going to talk about it because I have it ready to go for her to be on the screen.
Oh, sorry.
He has a 234 batting average. A 234 batting average with a 684 OPS. If I'm going to get that type of production, I might as well fucking just keep Peraza out there. No shade to Peraza, but if I'm Brian Cashman, I'm sitting back, I'm checking the Twitter feed, I'm checking the social media posts, I'm checking YouTube for all the different content creators, right? And people are telling me that I should go out there and fork over the money for Nolan Arenado, not only for this year, but for next year and the year after that as well, when he is hitting 234 with 5 home runs and a 684 OPS. Peraza's OPS is like 620 or 611, not that far off. So if I'm Brian Cashman, I'm not paying the prospects, I'm not paying the $15 million, and I'm
Mhm.
not paying the luxury tax penalty because yes, it's $15 million, but because the Yankees where they sit in that threshold, every dollar from Nolan Arenado, it gets time. So that $15 million winds up being maybe close to $40 million. And if I'm Hal Steinbrenner, Nolan Arenado with a .234 batting average is not worth $40 million when you look at the luxury tax penalties. No way whatsoever. I'm sorry.
No, you're cooking. This is Hector's hot corner.
I channeled my inner Joe from the shift just there, right? Shout out to
Yeah.
my guy Joseph Caputo from the shift. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, look what's underneath the average: the home runs, the ribbies, and OPS. Tied 123rd in the league, 129th in the league, 77th in the league, 123rd in the league. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is an exact move that Brian Cashman would never make. Never make this move. This is not, no. And this is when we can be grateful for Brian Cashman's style, okay? He's been around the block. He's not going to make this move. He's too smart. He's not going to do it. It doesn't matter what you think about Brian Cashman. If you love him, if you hate him, he's not going to make this move. You can take that to the bank. It ain't happening. But let me talk about a Cardinal who is happening.
Oh, I hit the wrong one. I meant to hit the Taco Bell. There we go.
Your face. Can we please talk about Paul, the hitter, that never quitter, Goldschmidt?
Oh my God.
What this man has done, okay, is absolute gold, pun intended. This guy, in his 37 age season, okay, is literally turning back the clock with his veteran discipline, his veteran presence, his veteran mental stability, his veteran friendship to the guys on the bench and everybody else. He has been exactly what I want Aaron Judge to turn into when he's 37, when he is 38, when he's 39. At the end of Aaron Judge's contract, because we signed him until he's, 41 or 40? Mm-hmm. This is what I want Aaron Judge to be watching Paul Goldschmidt. Okay? Now, they're two different players. I get it. But I want him to be watching Paul Goldschmidt. The way that he is playing the smartest, most professional, calibrated at bats, great defense, solid guy. I mean, he's been a revelation. 345 batting average on Memorial Day. 345 batting average on Memorial Day with a 399 OBP, a 490 slug, and an 889 OPS. Oh, but it gets better. With runners in scoring position, Paul Goldschmidt has a 458 batting average. When there are runners in scoring position, I want Paul Goldschmidt at the plate. He's giving a 518 OBP with runners in scoring position. 604 slug with runners in scoring position. Are you serious? He is spraying the ball all over the field. I want Paris, France to print out a spreadsheet of Paul Goldschmidt's spray chart and hang it in the fucking Louvre, okay? Because it is beautiful. And he has already racked up, and this is my last point, Heck, 1.6 WAR on the season in 2025. Last year, the entire season was 1.3 WAR for the Cardinals. This year, already on Memorial Day, 1.6 WAR for the New York Yankees, and he is on pace for a 5 WAR season at first base, where we had negative WAR in 2024. So Paul Goldschmidt, God bless you.
I just have to say, and shout out to my guy Jacob Petruzzi in the chat, right? Because Jacob says, Hector, to be honest, maybe
To be frank.
to be frank, thank you so much. You know, that young kid lingo I don't understand with Jacob Petruzzi in his young age. Shout out to my guy Jacob Petruzzi. To be frank, Nolan has proven he can get out of his son. Peraza has no track record. That's not what I'm arguing. That's not what I'm arguing, Jacob. What I'm arguing, if I'm Brian Cashman, where the Yankees sit right now, they are over that $301 million penalty, right? So if you bring in Nolan Arenado is making, and just so you guys think I'm not full of it. Hold on, let me stop sharing the screen. Let me share the screen right now. Boom. So where the Yankees sit right now, let me just bring this up so you guys can see. Where the Yankees sit right now, the Yankees are over that $301 million penalty, which carries a 110% penalty for every dollar over $301 million. So that $21 million from Nolan Arenado, if you do the math, right? If you do the math, this is what the Yankees would have to pay in order to have Nolan Arenado on the team for the year. This is the math right here. But they're not doing that for Nolan Arenado. They're not paying $200 million or whatever this penalty is for Nolan Arenado. It just financially, it makes no sense. So if you're Brian Cashman, you have to move with what you have. You have to move your contracts around, move your money around. If there's a way for the Yankees to move Marcus Stroman and bring in Nolan Arenado, fine. That makes all the sense in the world. But I don't think it justifies a 238 batting average for the penalty that you're going to have to pay if you bring in Nolan Arenado. That's perfectly me.
The Cardinals are in contention. That's all you have to say. The Cardinals are in contention. Nolan is not going to okay a trade.
And then again, whether he okayed a trade or not, right? Again, I'm not saying that I don't trust his track record. I definitely trust his track record, especially when you look at his splits against left-handed pitching. That defense is something that doesn't go away. Nolan Arenado, his glove is still top tier. But when you look at the offensive output, right? If you look at what he's giving you offensively, if Paul Goldschmidt, if Nolan Arenado was hitting 280, if he was hitting 290, 270, even 260 with double-digit home runs, we can have a conversation, right? But a 238 batting average, I don't think it justifies the penalty that's attached to it. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't be able to help this team. He definitely will be able to help this team. I just think where the Yankees sit and that penalty that's there, I don't realistically, I don't see no way Brian Cashman makes that move. I just don't see. If we're able to get off Marcus Stroman and move his money around, copy. I'll shut the hell up. I got egg on my face. I just don't see a world where Hal Steinbrenner okays. I'm going to bring up the money. Let's do it right now. Let's count it together. Let's see how many places is here, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, an extra $23 million. So you're essentially paying 21 plus 23. You're paying $44 million for Nolan Arenado. How does that make sense?
No.
He'll be making more money. You'll be paying more. You'll be paying for Nolan Arenado more than what you're paying for Aaron Judge. That makes no sense.
George Lombard Jr., by the way, is tearing it up. He's making adjustments and he's figuring it out down there. Yeah. Georgie Porgy Puddin' Pie is figuring it out, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had a real shot to make the team next year. Why would you block him with Nolan Arenado when you're paying $23 million a year plus? You're not going to release him for a rookie George Lombard Jr. You don't need to block him right now for next year. And the thing is, listen, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is coming back. I don't know if they're going to put him back at second or third. I find it very interesting that DJ LeMahieu has only been playing second base. So I don't know if they're going to put Jazz at third when he comes back, maybe. I'm kind of smelling a little something that they're cooking.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah. I don't think they're going to block George Lombard Jr.
I don't think they'll block George Lombard Jr. Also, too, the Yankees have played him more at second base, keeping him up the middle more than anything else. You know, you can put your conspiracy hats on and think whatever you want to think about that. They played him up the middle more than they had at third base this year. But you bring up excellent points about George Lombard. He is killing it down there. If you guys have a chance, and this is something that I'm going to try to do, to go and watch the Somerset Patriots, go and watch the Somerset Patriots. My guy Julian Galarte from Latino Sports. Make sure you guys go and check out latinosports.com. He had an interview with George Lombard Jr. It was a phenomenal interview. Make sure you guys go and check it out. It's on our social media platforms, and it's on his social media platforms as well. But you brought up Jazz Chisholm, and seeing how DJ LeMahieu has played, and even Jordan Vivas, who had his first major league home run last week. Shout out to Jordan for that one. You see how they played, and I'm surprised as well that DJ LeMahieu has only played second base. I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees put Jazz Chisholm at third base because one, he played it last year. Mm-hmm. Two, when I'm at the stadium, this is one thing that I want to point out to people. When I'm at the stadium and I'm there working media, do you know who the first person is out on that infield taking ground balls, working on his defense? Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm. He is the first person. And when I say the first person, working media, I got to get there at 2:00, right? The clubhouse opens at 3:00. By the time I'm set up, 2:00, got my laptop set up, get my camera set, it's like 2:30. I'm about to head down. He's already on the field taking batting practice. I mean, not batting practice, taking fielding drills. Jazz Chisholm is the first person out there working on his infield drills, working on whatever he has to work on. So I know there's a lot of, I bring that up to say that a lot of people like to shit on Jazz Chisholm. But when it comes to Jazz Chisholm, I saw over the past 2 or 3 weeks how much his teammates love him, how prepared he is every day. No matter if he's injured or not, he is out there on the field working on his ground balls, working on whatever he has to do. Jazz Chisholm, I think he will be in the Yankees' long-term plan for the future. I don't think the Yankees move off of Jazz Chisholm, personally. I see a lot of people throwing out trading Jazz Chisholm, using him in the trade. I don't see that. I think Jazz Chisholm is in this in this circle of trust for the New York Yankees, not just for this year, but for the future.
Yeah, I hope so. I love Jazz. I would love to see him stay around for the long haul and rock out. I mean, in the Bronx, I would love that. I do kind of, I want to know what they're planning. You know, I really, really do. But what does that mean for Ben Rice? If Jazz comes back and goes to third and they leave DJ at second, what does that mean for Ben Rice? Are they going to start giving JC more at bats? JC, by the way, who's been batting 300 over his last 10 games. JC Escara has been giving what he needs to give at the plate. And Wells has been like 100. I think he's been batting something around 100 over his last 10 games. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have that stat right in front of me, but I do remember seeing something about that. And will they start giving JC more time and maybe phasing Ben Rice somewhere in the catching conversation? Maybe Wells is on the trade block. That's crazy to say because he was such a loved member of this team last year and still this year. But somebody has got to be moved. Mm-hmm. Somebody has got to be moved. It's either going to be Ben or it's going to be Austin or it's going to be JC. I mean, I don't think Peraza will bring that much value. I'm not sure. I don't know. What do you think?
For me personally, right? This is a good problem to have. And I say that to say this. It's a good problem to have because if you are the New York Yankees, if you pick up the phone, if you're Brian Cashman and you pick up the phone call to get on any trade conversations, you have bullets now. Now you have extra pieces at the major league level, not just in the minor league level. We started this offseason trading for Fernando Cruz. He flipped Jose Trevino. Trading for Devin Williams. He flipped Nestor Cortez. All the moves he made this offseason were all from the major league roster. If you have extra guys on your roster, I'm not advocating the Yankees trade Ben Rice. I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating for the Yankees to trade Jazz Chisholm or anyone. But if a trade presents itself that helps improve your roster and improve your team, you consider it as much as you can. I want Ben Rice, arroz con habichuela, to stay with the New York Yankees. Mm-hmm. There's no position for him. If Giancarlo Stanton comes back, he's not at first base because Paul Goldschmidt is tearing up. If Paul Goldschmidt was putting up the numbers Nolan Arenado was putting up, then you'll have the conversation of sitting Paul Goldschmidt and having Ben Rice out there at first base. But you can't sit Paul Goldschmidt because of what he's done. If you're the Yankees, you have to attack this trade deadline, and you have to go into this trade deadline knowing that you need to make whatever moves possible to improve your roster, not only for this year, but for the future as well. So if you're the Yankees, you got to be all in at this trade deadline. You can't let another year go where you're not all in. You're supposed to be all in every year. But if there was ever a time at the trade deadline to move some pieces around, this is the trade deadline to do it.
I want everybody to remember who was the first person who said Ben Rice was in danger of being traded months ago, okay? And listen, I don't want it to be the case. I don't want it to happen, but I'm telling y'all, do you know do you know what we could get back for Ben Rice? A young kid with control who plays first base, catcher, and rakes lefty. The problem is we have so many of that right now. We have so much of what Ben Rice is on the team, and that's our problem. But on another team, he would be starting a starting catcher, starting first baseman, or full-time DH. I mean, he could slot in so many places for another club. I'm telling you, he's in the danger zone.
I want to ask you, Grace, and folks in the chat, this question is for you too as well. Whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitch, whether you're on Twitter or Instagram, make sure you answer this question. It's for you too, Grace.
Okay.
What is a more likely scenario? The Yankees find a trade partner for Marcus Stroman. The Yankees bite the bullet and fork over the money for Nolan Arenado, or the Yankees trade Ben Rice.
100%.
Out of those three, what are the most likely scenario?
100%. I think trading Ben Rice would be the most likely because he has so much value to other teams. Other teams will be calling Brian Cashman and saying, "Hey, what do you want for Ben Rice?" Nobody's calling and saying, "Hey, what do you want for Marcus Stroman with his busted knee and his locker room problems," according to other people. Nobody's doing that. And Nolan Arenado is not happening. It's not happening. So
and for people saying that the Cardinals can eat the money, if you're the Cardinals, you're not trying to eat his money. You're trying to get off of his money. That's what you're trying. You're trying to get off of that money from your payroll. So if you're the Cardinals, you're not eating any of that money. If the Yankees want you to eat some money, copy. I want some top tier prospects.
Right.
You want me to eat 21 million, so you don't got to pay 45 million extra for Nolan Arenado. So you need to give me some top tier prospects.
That's
because for everybody in the chat wondering, what does he mean? Nolan Arenado is making 21 million. I just did the math. We just did the math on screen. On top of his 21 million, the Yankees would have to pay an extra 43 million. So in reality, he will cost the Yankees like over $50 million. They're not doing that for Nolan Arenado. It's not happening. And when it comes to Marcus Stroman, like you said, and his busted knee, I don't think there's a trade partner out there that's going to eat his 18 million as well. And if there is, they're going to want top prospects. If I'm a team that's on the phone with the New York Yankees, oh, you want me to eat some money? You want me to help you out? You want me to look out for you, Brian Cashman and the New York Yankees, one of the number one franchises out there? I want George Lombard Jr. Mm-hmm. I want Spencer Jones.
Right.
I want Will Warren.
That's why the direction of the calls matters. The people who are calling the Yankees and they're looking for Yankees players, you have more leverage than if you're calling a team saying, "Hey, what do you want for this guy?" No, people will be calling Brian Cashman and saying, "Hey, you don't really have a place for Ben Rice. What are you looking to get back for Ben Rice? Because I need him." That's the way that call would happen. It's not Brian Cashman shopping Ben Rice around. It's people calling and saying, "Hey, I've looked at your roster. Giancarlo's back, and I know for a fact that Ben Rice is chilling on the bench, but I could use him."
Just to let everybody knows, the giveaway is live right now on Instagram. So if you're in New York City, if you're trying to win some tickets for the Knicks watch party at MSG tonight, make sure you guys go to Uptown Sports TV. It will be the first post on my page. Make sure you go there, retweet it. You got to follow. You got to follow my guy Caleb Vasquez, C Money NYC. You got to follow Latino Sports, and you have to follow as well Tryon Public House. But no, I'm in agreement with you. Great.
Yeah,
100%.
You have two spots where you got too many players effectively, right? You got a lot of guys in the outfield, play the outfield, and you got a lot of guys that play catcher. You got a lot of, right? I mean, we can't play all of them at the same time. So you're looking to trade somebody out of that pool, the redundancy pool.
I want to shout out my guy. Shout out my guy 19 Conman in the chat. 19 Conman NYC. Again, Conman, my brother. I appreciate the enthusiasm, right? My man is working the trade machine. He's trying to make this happen. If I am the St. Louis Cardinals, and if I am the GM of the Cardinals, you want me to eat some of that 21 million, I'm going to need at least one top 100 prospect. None of the players that you mentioned are top 100 prospect in Major League Baseball. Look at what happened when the New York Mets a couple of seasons ago, right? When they traded Justin Verlander, when they traded Max Scherzer, they ate that money. When they traded Max Scherzer to the Texas Rangers, they ate that money. They got a top 50 prospect back in return. When they traded Justin Verlander to the Houston Astros, they ate that money. They got another top 50 prospect in return. If I'm the St. Louis Cardinals, you are the New York Yankees. You want me to eat that 21 million? You want me to eat half of that 21 million so you don't got to pay that much in luxury tax penalty? I want at least one top 100, not even top 50, because I'm not even eating all the money. I need one top 100 prospect. And every prospect that you just mentioned, Conman, is not a top 100 prospect. When you look at the Yankees prospect pool, we got 3 top 100 prospects. You could take one of them off as Jason Dominguez. He's not considered in that pool anymore, but you got 2 more. And that's George Lombard Jr., who's 25. And then that's Spencer Jones, who's in the 90s. And the Yankees aren't trading either one of them. They're definitely not trading George Lombard Jr. and they're not trading Spencer Jones as well. Shout out to my guy Ace in the chat, the Ace Avenue. What it do?
Yeah, I think Spencer Jones is hurt right now anyway. Not that means you can't get traded, but you know. Anyway, don't get me started on Spencer Jones, okay? But all that being said, I wanted to point out that Paul Goldschmidt is from Texas. Thank you very much. I just found that out. I looked it up.
Oh, wait, hold on, wait. Mets Life right here. Shout out to Mets Life in the chat. They should trade Paul Goldschmidt.
Nah. You tried it. Yeah.
Shout out to my guy Mets Life that's in the chat. And 19 the Cards are stuck with Nolan because it's more that he has a no trade clause. And folks, we got over 100 people in the building. Shout out to the 100 beautiful people who are watching us. We got over 45 on YouTube. If you guys can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you could donate a super chat, $1, $2, $3, it helps us when it comes to paying for our bills and keeping the lights on over here at Uptown Sports TV. Grace, one thing that I forgot to mention, with Ryan Yarbrough, and this is something that your brother, you have put this out there. I don't know where the tweet has. Oh, no, matter of fact, no, it wasn't Ryan Yarbrough. I'm bugging. It was Max Fried, because I wanted to talk about Max Fried over the weekend, and there was Jesus Christ,
my brother again.
Okay, Max Fried. There we go. And my computer's acted up, but Max Fried over the weekend, you sent me this tweet. Grace, read this tweet off real quick for these people, beautiful people in the chat.
This is crazy. You know, a lot of people say Memorial Day is the day that you start to really evaluate what you've got in your team, what holes you need to fill, and what moves you need to make at the trade deadline. And at Memorial Day, MLB put out this tweet. Since the mound was lowered in 1969, only 2 MLB pitchers have had 7 or more wins, no losses, and an ERA under 1 50, 1.5, entering Memorial Day. One is Maximus Freed this year, who is 7-0 with a 1.29 ERA. Let me say that again. 7-0 with a 1.29 ERA. The other pitcher was Pedro Martinez in 1997. How many years ago was that?
Oh my God!
How many years? 28? I'm not good at math, but is it 28 years ago?
Yeah, it's about 1997. I was playing Pokemon, so yeah, absolutely.
That's a
Absolutely.
long time ago that somebody did this. I mean, when you're evaluating this pitching signing, acquisition, whatever you want to say, at Memorial Day,
I just want to say
7-0.
I just want to say 1997, right? For all you video game nerds that are in the chat, the top 8 video games that were sold in 1990. This is how long ago it was. Number 1 was GoldenEye 007. Number 2 was Diddy Kong Racing, one of my favorite video games of all time. Then you got Turok. Then you got Final Fantasy VII, which is one of my favorite games of all time. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok. I was playing some last night of Final Fantasy VII. That's how long ago 1997 was, Grace. I know. Did you play any of those games that I just mentioned?
I feel like Tupac was alive in 1997.
I don't know. I think he passed away in 1997.
Was it 97 he got shot?
Allegedly.
So, yeah. No, not allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. Yeah. Anyway, 97. Hell of a year. But yeah, this is a crazy stat. Crazy stat, y'all. Max Fried is doing it. And he's doing it on the biggest stage on a team that went to the World Series and lost last year. The eyes are on the Bronx Bombers, and he has stepped up seamlessly in a transition in his first year with the team and absolutely shoved.
Mario 64, absolutely. Check this out. These are the movies that were out in 1997. Men in Black, the original Men in Black, The Lost World of Jurassic Park, Liar Liar, Batman and Robin. I went to the movies to see that, actually. The Titanic. Just everybody know, Dominican people love the movie Titanic. Like, the Titanic is like up there when it comes to like Dominican pop culture. Air Force, George of the Jungle, Flubber, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Those are the movies that were out in 1997. That's how long ago it was. And Tupac passed away in 1996, Grace.
Oh, man.
You was 1 year off. You was one year off. But like Big Time Jerry said, thank God we have Maximus Fried. Thank God we do have Max Fried. Because when we look at his number, 7-0 with a 1.29 ERA, there has not been a Yankee acquisition in free agency that the Yankees sign who's pitched as well or performed as well as Max Fried has done in his first couple of months as a New York Yankee. When was the last time the Yankees went out there, got a free agent, and not only have they pitched up to what you expected, they had far outseeded that expectations. When the Yankees traded for Alex Rodriguez, he came off of hitting 50 home runs and was an MVP with Texas. He had 38 or 39 home runs his first year with the Yankees. When the Yankees signed Jason Giambi after winning the MVP, Jason Giambi came over here and was a shell of himself, right? When the Yankees traded for Randy Johnson after winning a Cy Young with the Arizona Diamondbacks, he was a shell, a former version of himself. Can anybody out there mention the last time the Yankees signed a free agent and they lived up to the expectations? CC Sabathia. I know we signed CC Sabathia, but when you look at his stats, his better years were pitching with Cleveland and pitching with the Milwaukee Brewers for that little short stretch of time that he did. CC was phenomenal for the Yankees. We would have not won that World Series in 2009 without CC Sabathia. But when you look at what Max Fried is doing, Max Fried is living up to the expectations, if not exceeding them.
I have one.
What's up?
Aaron Judge. Technically, he was a free agent. And he has been better since he signed his big contract than he was before.
Technically,
there's a little technicality, but not a pitcher. I feel like so many times when you sign pitchers, it never lives up. It seems like it never lives up to the contract. They make so much money, and with the injuries and everything else, I mean, Garrett Cole has been amazing, but Garrett Cole's best years don't make me say anything bad about Daddy Cole. But what he did with the Astros was crazy. I know that's the Spider Tack era. I get it. Whatever.
No, but he did win a Cy Young with us. He did win but it took him a couple seasons to get there.
You're right. It took him a couple seasons to get it. But I can't complain about Garrett Cole. But yeah, Same. You're right. For him to come in and do this in his first year after signing the big contract, immediately after getting paid, it just doesn't happen.
And not just immediately after getting paid, and after Garrett Cole goes down for the whole season. Because if you're Max Fried, the Yankees are signing you. You have the expectation that you're the number 2 behind Garrett Cole, right? Then in spring training, Garrett Cole gets injured, is announced. Then all of a sudden, Max Fried, we need you to be the number 1 after coming off an injury yourself. Because we're acting like Max Fried was healthy last year. No. Max Fried was injured. So he was coming off of an injury himself. He said, you know what? I'm going to step up and I'm going to put my big boy pants on and I'm going to carry this team in the absence of Garrett Cole. One thing I do have to say, though, Grace, the Yankees are going to need to start pulling back on his innings. Max Fried can't go out there every start and give you 7 innings and give you close to 8 innings. Max Fried has to go out there and have a few starts, 5 innings here, 6 innings there, because this version of Max Fried, you don't want to burn that out before getting to the postseason.
Yeah, Brian Cashman was interviewed, and I think it was Bob Nightingale who put it out that he was asking him, what are the plans to the trade deadline, and Brian Cashman said, pitching. And I was thinking about that, and with Heel coming back, knock on wood, with Heel coming back, I think they might be looking for relievers even more than starters.
Yeah.
I think they might be out there trying to find unsung heroes of the bullpen who can come in, give long relief, / be a lefty arm out of the pen. Tim Hill has had some questions. I just want to say that. I love Tim Hill, big fan of Tim Hill. But let's call a spade a spade. His last few outings, he's not looked the same. He's just not looked the same. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's nursing an injury or what, but we have some concerns there with Tim Hill. We have some concerns there with our bullpen, especially lefties out of the bullpen. So maybe they're going to be looking for relievers. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's relievers and stuff. And Mets put something in the chat and he brought up Roger Clemens. And this is something that I've had back and forth conversations and heated debates with Yankee fans about Roger Clemens. I don't think Roger Clemens was good as a Yankee. Personally, I don't think he was as good as people make him seem when he was a New York Yankee. When you look at Roger Clemens' stats, let's just look at this real quick. I get it. He was up there in age. He came over to the New York Yankees when he was 36. But when he was in Toronto, he had 2 seasons, a 2.05 ERA, then a 2.65 ERA. And then with the Yankees, that shot up to 4.60 in his first year, then 3.70, then 3.51. That was his lowest ERA ever pitching for the New York Yankees. Then you had a 4.35 ERA, then a 3.91 ERA. So even when you look at Roger Clemens, as great as Roger Clemens was, right, with the Red Sox and with Toronto and some games against the Yankees, I know he has that moment where he takes the bat and throws it at Mike Piazza. But when you look at his stats aren't great for the New York Yankees. They're mediocre, middle of the pack when you think of it. Again, Roger Clemens, more baseball knowledge and potential in his pinky than I ever have in my whole body. I'm just saying, when you look at guys that we bring in, Max Fried has far exceeded their expectations. And no shade to Roger Clemens, but we lost that 2000 World Series because of Roger Clemens. We lost 2001 against the Diamondbacks because of Roger Clemens. He couldn't pitch at home. And in 2003 against the Miami Marlins, Roger Clemens got destroyed by Miguel Cabrera. Point blank, period.
And you're not over it, and you never will be at this rate.
Point blank. I'm never over it. I was a child watching that.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a crazy take. Roger Clemens is mediocre. Everybody go tell everybody.
No, with the Yankees. All right, Grace. Folks, we got
All
over
right,
100
that's
people
true.
in the building watching us. If you guys can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. When it comes to YouTube, we got close to 50 people in the building at 48. And when it comes to subscribers, we are at 5,321 subscribers. So appreciate the new subscribers finding us this morning. But Grace, there's one person that I want to touch on real quick.
Okay.
Because he pitches tonight.
Okay.
And that's Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon. And this is a question that I've been having. I've been saving in the back of my mind for the next time I'm at a Yankees game and I'm at a press conference when it's Carlos Rodon star. And now all of a sudden everybody's talking about it. Is it fair to say that the thicker and hairier his beard has gotten, the better he has pitched for the New York Yankees? Is it fair to say that?
Y'all are crazy with this beard stuff. I swear to God. I don't know. I've never had a beard, so I don't know the emotional freaking attachment that men have with their beards. Maybe it's something that as a woman, I just don't understand. But sure. Is it a big deal? Is it a big deal? Because this is wild that there are so many people saying this to me. But you tell me, Hector, is it that big of a deal?
It's a big deal for me, right? As somebody that I was never able to like fully like grow facial hair and stuff. My facial hair didn't start coming in until I was later in my years, but I had to shave for work. Like I worked EMS. I was a 911 supervisor for Citywide Mobile Response, and I had to shave all the time. So I understand when it comes to like the facial hair policy. And then I worked in fine dining as well. I worked at a pizzeria called Lombardi's where the owner's son would sit at the bar. And if you had any type of stubble, he would give you $1 to go buy a razor blade. That's how bad it was where I worked at. But for me, I'm happy that I get to have my beard. As long as I trim it, it gets annoying after a while. But when you look at Carlos Rodon, I mentioned this on one of the last shows that we did. Carlos Rodon, he is like a caveman. Like Carlos Rodon, he is somebody that you could just throw in the middle of the wilderness, just pop him in there, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to survive. I got me a couple of sticks. I can make me a fire. I can find the squirrel, and I'll be able to survive. That's what Carlos Rodon is, right? And is it a coincidence that he's pitching better with his beard? I don't know. I just like to make jokes. I think it's more that his back is not barking and bothering him like it was last year and his first year with the New York Yankees. As somebody who suffers from chronic back issues, when your back is not right, any little movement you could do. I punched the air when the Knicks lost. Like I punched the air and I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital because of what happened to my back, right? So as somebody who deals with it, I'm happy to see Carlos Rodon healthy. Knock on wood, he could keep on going.
I will say this. I think Austin Wells needs to shave his beard because maybe that'll help him regain his
mojo
prowess.
Jojo.
Yeah, at the plate, because we've seen Austin Wells go on tears before. We've seen him have months at a 300 average, just slug, raking. I mean, and that was when he had the mustache. So maybe we need to take a page out of Carlos Rodon's book and say, you know what, Austin, you need to go back to being mustache poppy and shave the beard. Okay, so hell, let's try it. I'm willing to try anything at this point.
Facts. We need the mustache poppy back, Austin Wells. Get rid of the beard and just stick with the mustache. The mustache is what was doing it good for you. Shout out to my guy Ace, who says, when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you play good. Absolutely, Ace, 100%. One more other topic that I want to touch on before we get ready to wrap things up. Peraza. Aaron Judge, there was a quote that came out. Give him a chance. Aaron Judge defends the struggling former top prospect when it comes to the New York Yankees, Oswald Peraza. And you got some back and forth on Twitter. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Rational Yankees fan and from the Yankees blog going back and forth. One of them has a blue check mark, so you guys can care about that if you want to. But Rational Yankee fan said, not sure exactly what the solution is, but Oswald Peraza isn't good enough to be on the Yankees roster after the trade deadline. His glove isn't good enough to justify an OPS well below 600. The Yankees blog said the Yankees never really gave Oswald Peraza a fair shot. Though it's unfortunate, he couldn't capitalize when he finally got a chance. Hopefully, he finds success elsewhere. I want to ask you, Grace, when it comes to that back and forth interaction, what's your thoughts on that? And how do you feel about Peraza? Folks in the chat, let us know as well.
Oh, man. man. Is his average really 158?
158, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, and a 532 OPS. I thought it was at 611. So yeah.
Damn, that's tough. I really like Oswald Peraza as a human, as a person. And I love his defense. I will say that. He has made some errors. It's hard to come off the bench, obviously. Baseball is hard, and it's hard to come off the bench and you want to prove yourself. He knows this is his last chance. He has no options left. And he knows that. And with Jazz Chisholm unfortunately injured, he knows that he has this, and Cabrera as well. Shout out to Oswaldo Cabrera. Hopefully he's healing up. But with Cabrera out, this is his shot right now. He knows that. He's putting pressure on himself. He wants it bad. And, you know, it's not happening at the plate. It sucks. It sucks so bad. But I still like his glove. Even with the couple errors he's had, I still like his glove. I understand where he's coming from. He gives it all. Yesterday, you saw him range back, you know, to get the pop fly that when Anthony Volpe almost mowed him down. Remember that play? He's trying so hard. I just really want it to happen for him, but man, it's not happening. Is he good enough to be the Yankees' third baseman long term?
Long term, I don't know about long term, but for a short while right now, while we figure it out, I don't see why not. Yes, I got to agree with Erica when it comes to his bat. His bat is not showing any promise whatsoever. If he doesn't turn it around, this is why you take this time right now to evaluate your roster. You got Cabrera out, right? You got Peraza, right? Who would you rather see out there, right? If you're Brian Cashman and you're trying to evaluate your roster and you're trying to see, okay, what moves I could make at the trade deadline, who would you rather have out there, Pablo Reyes or Peraza? You want Peraza out there, right? Just to see what he has and what he could give you. If a few more weeks go by, if we get closer to the trade deadline and Peraza has not shown you any improvement or has showed you any promise, then you go out there and you make a move for a third baseman. As of right now, if I'm the New York Yankees, I'm not making a move out of panic. I know we have to make a move out of necessity, but I don't want to make a move out of panic. And even when Cabrera comes back, how mobile will be Cabrera? Because he's coming back from a broken ankle. That's not something that is just, I stubbed my toe and I'm back in 2 weeks. No, that's a big time deal. You have to go under surgery for that, right? So I understand a lot of Yankee fans are looking at the numbers from Peraza. A lot of Yankee fans are saying that he doesn't have it. We need to go out there and just make a move. If you're Brian Cashman, you're going to take these next 2-3 weeks to evaluate Peraza, to see what he has. And if 2 or 3 weeks come, he doesn't make a move, then you start picking up that phone. Or he's picking up the phone right now just to weigh in his options. Point blank, period.
I don't think Peraza's trash. I don't think that. And for me, I don't have like an itch to get rid of him at all. Especially when you have Reyes that is the next DFA candidate, in my opinion. When Jazz Chisholm comes back, I expect Reyes to be gone. Bibas is new. He still has upside to give and growth to show, and Peraza too. But when Cabrera went out, you better believe we were grateful as hell to have Oswald Peraza on that bench to be able to step up in Cabrera's absence. Because otherwise, like you said, Hector, we'd have Pablo Reyes out at the hot corner. Okay.
And no Yankee fan want to see Pablo Reyes out there. No offense to Pablo Reyes, right? I ain't trying to be an asshole or anything. Like, Pablo Reyes is awesome. I love talking to him at the stadium. But yeah.
So I don't know. And also Cabrera's not coming back this season. His tendons were severed. He's not coming back this season. Next year. Heal up. We miss you, Oswaldo, for sure. But yeah, we can't be counting on him coming back this year. Yeah, no, definitely.
As somebody who apparently I have low testosterone because this asshole in the chat wants to say that, as somebody who's covered sports media for the past 3 or 4 years, we know that there's trolls in the world. So I appreciate you for spending the last 20 minutes watching us, because that's the only way you could be in the chat. So if anybody in there, you can remove that asshole from the chat right now. Any moderators in the chat, remove his dumb ass from the chat. Fucking idiot. Back to the conversation at hand. Looking past the trade deadline, like you said, we have reinforcements that are coming back. Luis Hill should be coming back. I got to agree with you when it comes to Cabrera, because that injury is not, like I said, it's not a stub toe and you could come back in 2 weeks or anything like that. Personally, like I said, don't make a move just to make a move. Don't make a move just to panic. Evaluate the team that you have right now. Navigate what's going on over the next couple of weeks. And if a trade presents itself, you go out there and you make the trade.
Yeah. I guess, yes. If a trade presents itself, then of course. You always want to make the team better. But am I out there beating a drum saying, move Oswald Peraza, he sucks, get him off the team? No. He can cover third, he can cover short, he can cover second. He gives his all, and the guys love him, and he's nice, and I don't care. I like him. He's fine. Is he great? Is he going to, be clutch? Do I want him up with bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth? No, that's not what I'm saying. But we can carry one guy on the lineup that bats below 200 if he gives great defense, plays all the time, stays available, can cover multiple spots. When Oswaldo Cabrera is out, when DJ LeMahieu is questionable, when Jazz Chisholm Jr. is out, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
But to your point as well, and Erica brings this up right here, I want a good glove, but someone that can at least bat 240 at the bottom of the lineup. It's a black hole right now with DJ, Peraza, and Vivas. And I don't think anybody...
I want a 5-carat diamond ring.
Yeah.
Sure, I want that too, but...
I want the Knicks to come back tonight against the Pacers. Exactly. I want the Knicks to come back tonight against the Pacers. Hopefully that happens. But folks, we're about to get ready to wrap things up. Grace, anything else in your head rattling off? Any last thoughts that you want to get off for these beautiful people that are watching us right now?
Yeah, I want the Knicks to win tonight too. Big game on the road. They said that the Knicks had never won in that building in the postseason. So first time for everything. They broke that streak. Hope they win again. As a Knicks fan for 2 weeks, I'm very invested. Yeah, I hope the Knicks win. We'll be able to watch them before the game tonight since it's another late night on the West Coast. But sending Rodon all the good vibes. Hope he has an amazing outing. And we can take this series from the Angels. I said I wanted to go 7-9 over this stretch between the Rangers, the Rockies, and the Angels. And we are still on track to make that 7 out of 9. The Yankees have won 14 of their last 18 games. We are cooking, so let's keep it going.
What was hilarious is that, seeing Yankee fans after the Yankees lost game 1 to the Rockies, we lost to the worst team in baseball. This is horrible. Trade this person and yada, 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 yada. You're not going to win every game. You're never going to win every game. You're not going to go am I wrong? Has there ever been a team to go 162-0, Grace, in Major League Baseball?
No,
right? Didn't the Angels, the team that the Yankees beat last night, didn't they just come off of sweeping the Dodgers over the past week?
Inexplicably, yes.
So anything happens. It's Major League Baseball. Nothing's a guarantee. You still have to go out there and you still have to play the game. Folks in the chat, we appreciate all of you guys. We had over 100 people in the building rocking us, over 50 on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys go and follow us on Twitch, TikTok and Twitch. Make sure you guys go and follow us on both platforms. I will be going live later on tonight on TikTok, maybe on Twitch as well. So just be on the lookout for that. But we will be back later on. Grace Monroe, predictions on the Yankees. What's the score?
Oof. Let's say 4-1.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Weaver's not available. 4-3.
Okay, I'm putting it out there. It's going to be a 5-2 win from the Yankees. Carlos Rodon is going 6 innings, no runs. Those 2 runs that they get are going to come from the bullpen, and they're going to come from Ian Hamilton. I saw the future. I predicted it. Right. Make sure you message my DM when I get it correct.
Not bad. Not a bad prediction. I'll take the win.
I want to shout out the chat before we get out of here. Let's drop the music and let's shout out the people in the chat. Big time, Jerry Deal. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for rocking with us, Jerry. My guy, Froggy Fresh in the building. 19 Cashman, I appreciate you. Anthony Ribeiro, shout out to my guy, A. I appreciate you. Jose Medina, our friend, that's baseball, Eric. Christian like button. I'm Hector.
I'm Grace Monroe.
This is Yankees Morning Brew. And until next time, deuces.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.